Hi everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Namaste. Sending lots of love to everybody. What a day. What a day. Yet again. Thought I'd start with a poem. The Glory of Being Alive by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. On a bleak bold hill with a bold world under, the dreary world of the commonplace, I've stood when the whole world seemed a blunder, with dotard time in an aimless race, with worry about me and want before me. Yet deep in my soul was a rapture spring that made me cry to the grey day me. Oh, I know this life is a goodly thing. I have given sweet years to a thankless duty, when cold and starving though clothed and fed, for a young heart's hunger for joy and beauty is harder to bear than the need of bread. I have watched the wane of a sodden season which let hope wither and made care thrive, and although it all without early reason, I have thrilled with the glory of being alive. And now I stand by the greatest sea's splendour, where love and beauty feed heart and eye. The brilliant light of the sun grows tender as it slants to the shore of the by and by. I count each hour as a golden treasure, a bead time drops from slender string, and all my ways are the ways of pleasure, and I know this life is a goodly thing. And I know too that not in the seeing or having or doing the things we would lies that deep rapture that comes from being at one with the purpose that makes all good, and not from the pleasure the heart may borrow, that vast contentment for which we strive, unless through trouble and want and sorrow it has thrilled with the glory of being alive. I just thought I'd start with that because it's difficult right now for lots of people. I just want to send out love vibes, and it really started because I had a really bad dream last night. This morning, didn't really sleep. And yeah, obviously I'm still going through this situation with my narcissistic exes, who obviously have just taken deep displeasure and hatred in me. Just speaking out about the behaviour, really, about abuse and stuff. And it just seemed like I didn't, when I obviously started all this way back when, it never was to be spiteful. It was just to speak the truth and to, let other people in similar situations know that they're not alone. And it also just proves why people don't speak out. Why people they don't don't tell about these kind of things: abuse, physical, psychological, emotional, financial, sexual, because when you do, the person involved, the lengths that they're going to go to try and destroy you and make your life hell for having just literally all you're doing is speaking the truth. Obviously, they're not going to like it. And that's just what's happening. So obviously, it's just my dream. Basically, was I heard. Have you seen Stranger Things? It felt like that. Like, not the demon thing wasn't there, but just that vibe, that scenery, that place. And I could hear my kids screaming for me, like they were lost and scared. And right now, there's nothing I can do because I'm going through. I've been advised. There's no way that I won't win. So it's not. That's not the. It's just knowing that they're, not able to. I'm not able to speak to them or see to them just because they hate me that much. They're using the children as weapons against me. To the children's, they just don't care. They're not even caring about their own kids' mental health or well-being by doing that. So yeah, I miss my kids, and it just upset me. Just when you wake up with that feeling like something's wrong, but I can't find out until it comes in. It's just a process. It's however long it takes. Obviously, there's a backlog. Everything was closed, so it's just it is what it is. So yeah, kind of set me off on some weird energy today, and I almost had a pity party for one. Almost did. And then when that happened, I was like, right, want to have a drink? I just thought, no, don't be daft. You know you love your peppermint tea better. But also, I just thought, you know what? When you get to, it's just that it just be a disaster, because when you're in that space there, I just know myself well, so I know that if I'd have had a drink, it would have just turned into a riot of some description, I'm sure. So I decided wisely to stick to my tea, get my singing bowl out, put on some relaxing healing frequencies, just to get back in the zone. And it's too hot to drink, that's why I'm holding it. And yeah, and then I just thought, So I can't, because I've come so far. I've, when you work really hard. I've worked really hard to battle against my my own demons. I can't give up now. Because ultimately it's all for the kids anyway. So, and then I just thought as well, I just constantly reminded, of being grateful. Although it's a difficult situation, I'm not in a war zone. I've got a, roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my fridge, running water, sanitation, electricity, books, internet, car. So I've got nothing to complain about really. And not only have I not got anything to complain about, I've also got purpose. And I just don't seeing any slight thing that I can do, that any of us can do to try and make things better, whether that's in our own communities or further afield, or in other parts of the world where people are suffering. I just feel like that's what we should do. It's what we're here for, to make it better. And I've seen this, I've loads of videos and messages and stuff on various different things. But one of them was, and this is probably gonna offend some people, and I don't mean it to. I'm just saying it how it is. So, well, I can't remember why I got onto this. Oh, that was it. A load of videos came up today, or things just from the universe, on homosexuality and conversion therapy. Like, this is so random, but it's not, because it's all going on at the moment. Whether or not other people are aware of it, I am, because I'm constantly watching what's going on all over the place. So, firstly, I'm on this open democracy, And let me find the email and I'll read it to you, because it's saying, because the thing is, what people don't, I don't know what other people don't understand if they're not watching it like I am, is that there's sort of sneaky legislation changes happening in different places, which are changing LGBTQ rights. And it's a problem. It's basically the overall thing of this. So, open democracy. This is where my brain went. This is how this started. Open democracy, right? The Vatican. Here we go. Now, right, and this is saying that they now think that they should have a right to sit on the United Nations Health whatever it's called. Let me just load it. And there's this underlining spiritual warfare going on around the place. And you can see it obviously in America with the ultra conservative things that are going on there. And it's funny how the ultra conservatives also seem to be ones that are corrupt and sex traffickers. But there's also Democrats that are as well, so, you know. But the Vatican has long opposed access to abortion, contraception, surrogacy, and in vitro fertilization, as well as marriage and adoption for same-sex couples. They have denied the existence and rights of transgender and intersex people and advocated at the UN against numerous gender and LGBTIQ equality initiatives. Right? Now, imagine giving the Holy See a fixed seat at the World Health Assembly. Italy is pushing for the Vatican to have a permanent role in health talks. This is a disastrous move for sexual and reproduction rights around the world. Meanwhile, oh good old UK government, have cut funding, Kelsa Breeze, for research and development projects supporting women and girls by more than 2/3. Experts have described this move as callous and unethical. Well, it's not the first time, is it? Do you know what I mean? Just add it to the long list of corruption that's going on right about now. Yeah. So this is a problem where a religion is involved in global policy or country's policy. It's dangerous because it's one religion thinking that they are above everyone else, right? Which is just simply not the case. Because they're basically saying, more, my opinion is better than anyone else's on the religious front and with regards to health. And the other thing about this here as well is that everybody, and this is obviously going to only really resonate with anyone that's spiritual or has faith, this is what I'm going to say now, which is that it's a personal thing. It's between you and your God or goddesses, whatever it applies, whichever faith you are, right? And that is it. It's between you and your God. You don't need. It shouldn't be or need anyone else's interference, essentially, or instruction. You should know that you're inherently connected, and that it's a personal thing. And this searching for, like if they're making money, yeah. So anyone who is of Christian or Roman Catholic faith has the ability, to have the exact same connection to God, if they don't already, as a Pope does. There is no difference. There is no difference. So why have they essentially created a system because God's most important, right? But why have we created a system of men that you kind of almost worship, like idolize and pay money? And this whole homosexuality thing, and sorry, that's not meant to be in any way offensive to anyone that is in a same-sex relationship. I'm talking about in terms of religion. I've researched this. Yeah, I've said it before. Homosexuality and same-sex relationships and transgender goes back to Mesopotamia, the first civilization. Well, Sumerians, Anunnaki, if you want to go Anunnaki, whatever, if you want to go that way. But Mesopotamia, Sumerians, right? First human civilization. And it goes back all the way there. So it's always been, right? It was in there. Let me I want to read this to you. So don't forget there was a transgender, a Greek emperor. They didn't have a problem. This is the thing. They didn't have a problem with these things until it came to when Rome, the Roman Empire, created their own religion. Because religions change over time as well. So what was religion of Mesopotamia? So on this basis, why aren't we all this religion? this was the first religion. You know what I mean? So Mesopotamian religion refers to the religious beliefs and practices of a civilization. Oh, right, here we go. What is it? It's polytheism. I can't even say it. Polytheism, yeah? Right. So so this is had greater emphasis on personal religion and structured gods in a oh my days, come on, Hannah. Monarchical hierarchy, with the national god being the head of the pantheon. Right? So that was the religion of the first civilization, i.e. they believed in many gods. And that was 3,000 years before Jesus. Right? And they believed that. And then so did the next empire that came on after them. They tweaked it slightly, changed it to suit whatever they wanted the masses to believe. Because whoever's the leader changes, who's ever the leader of the time or the empire dictates what you believe and what you do. And when you think about, and they also change history, of course, because they rewrite everything to how they want it to be to make them look good. And you think about Christianity and Roman Catholics, and I respect anyone that's got faith, right? But you have to accept that there was history before. There was history before. And from the first civilization, there was no problem with same-sex relationships and transgender. And, they even had transgender operations around at that time. There was a Greek emperor who was transgender. So you can't just erase history to suit the book that was then written then and changed. And sodomy was written in. And not only that, I just find it really hypocritical when there are a lot of paedophiles within churches. I'm not just plucking that out of the air. I'm not trying to be nasty against any one particular person who has a Christian faith, because it's not about that. The fact of the matter remains that it is proven from the sheer volume of cases against churches of all various different churches within Christianity as well, and Roman Catholicism, to the tune of billions of dollars paid out in settlements to children that have been abused by priests and archbishops. And that's just in against the Roman Catholic Church. Then you've got to think about, the Children of God cult. And they were just constantly abusing children. That came out as well. They aren't the only one. There's loads and loads and loads. It happens time and time again, where men that are supposedly men of God, who people turn to when they're vulnerable, who are in charge of small children for choirs and Sunday schools. And they are the abusers. And then they have the audacity to go on this hell-bent against homosexuality. And it's like, I am sorry, but I think you need to I can't take you seriously. I can't take them seriously. I can't take them seriously for several reasons. One is that there's loads of history before where LGBTQIQ was around, and it was part of society. And it's only at this point when the what is it called? There's a word for them. Abrahamic religions, which are the three main ones. Up until that point, it was accepted. There was not a problem with it. And then, from the creation of the Abrahamic religions, it was written in as a problem, but by the people who are doing it, and not just doing it, but they are abusing children, boys, men, that they are vulnerable in their care. So you just can't. You've got no right. You've got no right to dictate to anybody what their personal preference is. Why does it affect anyone else? Why? Why is it an issue? Why is if I was attracted to girls, why would that be an issue to anyone else? It's not you. It's not your choice. You're not the one doing it. If I wanted to be with a girl, why is that anyone else's? I just don't understand why it's anyone else's business, and why it should affect my rights on anything. Why? Why is it an issue? And also, just another point of hypocrisy as well is, the fact that in various religions it's supposed to be a sacred union between two people, but then you've got these offshoots of Christianity that say polygamy is all right, and not just polygamy, but when you get to the Mormon fundamental Latter-day Saints, or whatever it is, fundamental church, fundamental Latter-day Saints, or something like that, and they're just marrying kids, and that's just straight paedophilia. But you're letting that shit go on as well. So you're letting people marry kids. You're letting them marry kids, and then you're letting their marrying children, like 13, 14-year-olds, and marry their sister, and then get them both pregnant, and then, you know, their kids will marry another kid of yours from somebody else. Yeah, you're letting that go down. But you want to have, you want to take away rights of people who want to have a sacred union with one other person of their choosing, that are both consenting adults, and you think that that's okay, that you think that you can take their rights whilst letting that go down there. Fucking out your mind. And people, you know, and then, I mean, my personal opinion on polygamy as a whole, is just my personal opinion. And, you know, I don't care, I wouldn't treat anyone differently. I just personally think, from what I've seen, read, and in terms of psychology of it, and the effects it has, the consequences of it on those in it, yeah, it is abuse. Because if one man is, you know, and then obviously this depends on how many, I suppose, wives you've got. But for example, if you're the whatever they were called, the Kingston clan, and he's got 70 odd wives, for me that is straight abuse. Like, how much of a narcissist is that guy? You can't give any of those women any attention whatsoever, and you can't give them any love. You cannot give them any time. You're just treating them like baby making machines, and it doesn't actually spend any time with any of them. How can you? What would that be? Once every 2.5 months. And not only that, if you've got 70 odd wives and all of them are having a baby a year, which is the rule, got to have a baby a year or else, you're not going to spend no time with those kids neither. So that's abuse against the children, surely. Psychological, emotional abuse. Because they won't have a dad. They'd never be there. You've got to think of each one of those wives has got, you know, one a year for however long. Like, hence why the clan is 3,500. That's just an immediate family. And then they're marrying each other. He's marrying them up. Like, this is abuse. It's abuse. It's abuse. How is that a loving relationship? Please tell me. How is it? Might be between the sister wives and the kids, like, because they, you know, they've only got each other. Where that's not a relationship. It's not a union, you know, a divine union in the eyes of God. How can that be? But as I say, I wouldn't. But if someone else wants to have free, you know, if I don't know anyone, I know people that sleep around like that, which, you know, and it's every single time it's ended in tears. But that's what I mean. But if that's your life choice, that's your life choice. It's no one else's business, right? The problem I've got is, you know, as I said, I think it's personally, if you're dealing with numbers like that, that is abuse as far as I can. And if it's children you're marrying, that's paedophilia, and that's certainly a crime. But if you're consenting adults and you want to have 3 wives and all 3 of them want to, I don't know. I mean, it just sounds like nuts to me, because 1 is more than enough, surely, just in terms of being a lot to handle. But I suppose each their own. But yeah, I think having the Vatican, just this whole thing, there's just this vibe, there's something amiss with everything that's going on. And then there's just all these sly legislation changes and things going on. Just got to be on the ball. So I'm going to put in the links to the human timeline, so you can see all the different eras, empires, you know what I'm saying, and the different, how the religions change. And let's not forget, the Pope was best friends. I say best friends. That might be a bit of a stretch, but who knows? He was friends with Hitler. Now, and he was giving him advice during World War II. Does that not seem strange? It seems strange to me. Not only that, they've also been responsible throughout history for just going and killing anyone that didn't believe what they believed. And again, that don't sit right with me either, because that's just not what God is about. You know, it's about unconditional love and acceptance and understanding and of all. Just seems real contradictory, like what they're preaching versus what they're doing. And then have religion having such a sway in politics, particularly just one religion though, is real dangerous. For everybody. And particularly sitting on a health board, like, what does he know about, who does he think he is? I'm sorry, I'm going to be brazen now though, because we're all, you know, if you're a faith, we're all made in God's image, right? So we are inherently connected, and anyone can have that connection. Whatever you perceive the Pope's connection to God to be, anyone can have that level of connection. So why does his position even exist? And if you look back through time, it's just sort of a method of collecting money. We all know where that leads. And they're sitting on a fortune. Where are they? Where are they right now? Where are they? Doing what with that money? Surely they'd be in all these places helping solve all these problems with all that money. No? But they're not. And not only that, he's sat on millions of texts, millions of historical and spiritual texts, millions, that hardly anyone has seen. And it makes you wonder, what exactly are they hiding? What knowledge is there that they don't want the rest of the world to know? Because that's the only... They're hiding it. It's nothing more than that. You can't... I don't even know why this isn't more of a thing. I don't know why people are like, I'm demanding to see this literature. Like, we need to know. They've got the history of humanity hidden in their fucking vault. As spirituality, God only knows. Literally, God only knows what's in there. It could be anything. It could rewrite everything we know. And that's probably why they don't want everyone to have it. Because they like the status quo. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why they keep it under lock and key. Like, shit, if everyone finds this out, we're done for. It's true. You know it is. Otherwise, why wouldn't they just let everyone has a right to that information? Who do they think that they are to hold dominion over knowledge that was written for everybody? So that's my thoughts on that. But I'm going to put in the history because it is important. I think it's important that we remember that there's so many different points in time. Huh? I don't know I don't know what he's saying at the end there. Is it still live? Oh, hi, there we go. Oh, for 85% of sheep, 10% no truth. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I've totally had my computer's just gone whack. Yeah, totally. Yes, so I'm just going to add those in. Then what was the other thing I was going to do as well? Was talk about Bitcoin, green, because obviously there's this thing at the moment about the energy of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I've got a list of the top 15 altcoins, or the best. Sorry, what's the right word to describe it? The most sustainable cryptocurrency. But also, actually, 76% of cryptocurrency in general is actually using renewable energies. I don't know whether they're trying to poo-poo on it because everyone's started to use it. They're trying to, deter people by going down the green, oh, it's really bad, it's dirty, and all of that. I'm not sure, but I did some research anyway, and I found the top 15 most sustainable cryptocurrencies and altcoins. So I'll put that in. That's some good news. What else have I got? Just want to send some love out to Palestine and Israel, everyone that's suffering. I just think there's another example. We just got a load of mini Hitlers. Do you not think? We've got mini Hitlers all over the fucking show. Like, that same cuckoo, where they just want to wipe out people of one, faith, or because if you think you got China and the Uyghurs, I'm not sure if I said that right. Then you got this going on here, and you've got that's a really bad example. In Ethiopia, the Tigrayan people as well, and that's a really spiritual place. Tigray, they're one of the oldest like tribes, and they've got loads of holy sites there as well. There's something just not sitting right. And they keep not approving this ivermectin, and every day that they don't approve it is more deaths. And and it's even more than that as well. I was thinking, because I mentioned this the other day, but if they'd have approved, so if they'd have, this is a tried and tested drug, everyone knows what the side effects are, they're nowhere near as bad as any of the side effects that are coming from the vaccine. If they'd have approved it when the guy first went to the Senate, so that's back in March. So firstly, in all seriousness, based on the results that they've been getting from its use, which is the use case for courts to force doctors and hospitals to actually give it to patients, and there's so much evidence that they're having to do that. So if they'd have approved it then, how many people wouldn't have died? And it's not. So how many people would have been saved? And the reduction of the mortality rate is like almost entirely. So that it might have been everybody. Also, and I did say these before, but the reason I'm saying them again is because it's actually more. It's more than these. I'll get onto that. So you got the reduced time in hospital, reduced time in any ICU, reduced need for ventilators, and reduced recovery time. Okay. Now those are obviously the main ones. But then if you think about then all the things that surround those, so we wouldn't have had overwhelmed hospitals, we wouldn't have had overwhelmed doctors and nurses, we wouldn't have had supply chain issues, we wouldn't have had requirement for ventilators frantically being made and just spot whatever from all over the place. we wouldn't have had the knock-on effects to the rest of the health system. So when I say that, like, you wouldn't have had the problems with no beds. You wouldn't have had the all other treatments and surgeries and that. You wouldn't have had them being cancelled. And which means you also now wouldn't have had now this 5-year waiting list that we got now. Because had they given ivermectin, approved it at the start, excuse me, then all of these other things could have carried on. And all of these treatments, all of these assessments, all of these cancer checks and scans and would have been able to carry on. Also, mental health. Think about the mental health of all of the doctors and the nurses having to stand by and be that person as replacement of family, because family weren't allowed to go when somebody dies. How many deaths have they seen? Have they had, have they been there? And think about that. What that would do to you. And the family for not being able to be there. And that kind of, just that. And all of that could have been prevented. Lives, all of those lives could have been saved. And you don't even know the full impact of all of those other conditions and diseases and ailments and problems that people haven't had treated as a result of this time, and not being able to go, or being too scared to go. Because a lot of this, they have just put the fear of God, they put this crazy fear in people. Mainstream media, they've just put this nuts fear into people. Excuse me. And you can see it even now, like this pipeline thing. I'm telling you now, I'd put money on the Koch brothers being the ones that paid the ransomware to ransom them to pay their 5 million ransom, just so that people would panic buy. Because the price of gasoline of that pipeline has rocketed. So they've made a fucking fortune. They have made a fortune. That 5 million ransom would have been a drop in the fucking ocean. They'd have paid that every day of the week. They were like, yep, do it again. Because they're just making a fortune. And not only have they made a fortune, they have sent again, have we not learned from last year with people panic buying? The panic buying causes the supply problem. It causes the shortage. It causes the supply issues. So people are panic buying, and let's also not forget, we've just had an entire year of being locked down, not being out, not driving anywhere. Chill out. Like, why is everyone panic buying fuel? Like, we've just had a year of chill. Like, you don't need it. Why do you need it? Just chill out. Just chill out. Same with the toilet roll last year. Couldn't get a fucking bug roll for love nor money. Insane. You know what that does to the prices? It sends the prices up because people have just gone out and gone, oh, I need 500 toilet rolls just in case. No, you don't. Just chill. Chill. If everyone just bought a normal amount, there wouldn't be a supply issue.
That's the thing. Because when everything sells out, then it takes longer time to refill it. That's just the way the supply chain works. And the time, the time. So the gas line thing is just another example of just putting fear into people. Oh no. It's like, no, just chill out. Do you need your car? Like, it's the pipeline will come back on, the gas will return. They've probably done it themselves just to make a shitload of money because they've not made so much money in the last year, because they're corrupt as fuck as well. So, just allow it. And everything, there's so many things that are going wrong in the supply chain right now. Everyone's short of everything because everyone's panic buying stuff. It's like, the world is not ending, people. Chill. The doomsdayers, these people are talking, and again, these are these religious zealots that are talking, going, oh, it's end of days. It's not. It isn't. The people that are, particularly if they're any kind of leadership role or CEO, for example, preaching any kind of end of days, doomsday nuts, yeah, they're the ones that you should be worried about. They're the ones making that shit happen, for real. And again, that talk, that negative, just, why would ya? Why would ya? It's not the end, it's the beginning. And there's so much good stuff going on, and there is a load of good change going on, and you just get it's certain people in certain places just trying to chip away at the positivity and the change. But I think you can see now more and more there are amazing people doing amazing things right about now, it has to be said. It really does. And what was the I think they were Amazon. They're saying they're getting someone independent in to check their to make sure that their recruitment is equal and diverse across their business, which is a good thing. I would like to say though, Amazon, having watched various African channels, which is you're about to build a huge site in Cape Town on sacred land. Now, the locals don't want it there, and they want it to be on classified as a World Heritage Site. So you shouldn't really build there, should you? Just saying. I think maybe I might tap up World Heritage, be like, no, so make sure this is a World Heritage site. They can't build that. I mean, look how big that South Africa is. They could build it loads of other places. Why would you select a place that is a sacred land? It's the same with Trump. Trump did it. It's with the in Scotland, where he built his golf course. That was actually it was classified as like a site of historical significance. I think it was something like that. I did a piece on this way back when. But because, and this is just shows you again how corrupt the system is, particularly with regards to planning. And I've seen some videos on this as well from other places, in fact, Northern Ireland. So I'll put those in. But basically, because they wanted to have Trump's golf course there, they were prepared to just go, it doesn't matter if it's of historical and scientific importance now, thinking about it. They're like, nah, doesn't matter, we want his money. And so they just scrapped it and let him destroy this piece of land just so that he build it there. And it would be an absolute travesty if, just because Amazon's a big bully with lots of money, that they just think that they can do the same thing in Africa. I don't think that's fair. Particularly when there's so many other places that you could, South Africa is enormous. I've been there, lived in Cape Town for a bit actually. And it would be really wrong to build on something that the locals would consider as sacred land, just because you've got the money to throw at people. It's not fair. What else? There was something else. Oh yeah, Budweiser. Oh, this is it. I was going to do my thing, which is like follow the leader. Budweiser is, I did not know this, is completely brewed with renewable energy. Go Budweiser. Follow the leader. Do you know what I mean? Everyone get on board. And who else was there? What else was there on here? Oh, give me 2 ticks. 2 ticks. Oh no, I think that's it. I've gone on for a long time though. Sorry. Right, so I'll put all the links in as usual. Oh, actually, before I go, there was something else. And that was, I've been thinking about my dad a lot because it's coming up for his 7 years since he passed away. And also, my uncle died during pandemic. And my brother's wife's dad is currently terminal with cancer as well. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the ivermectin. If that had been, then some of these people might, because he didn't get caught early enough. So now he's in a hospice. But I was thinking about my dad because he was like a larger than life character. But I've just realised that I never really knew him. I mean, I knew him as, I know that sounds weird, but it's not. Like I didn't really know him. He was always working. And he was like my idol. And then since he passed away, when my brothers basically flew, I was with him. Me and my mum were with him when he passed away. And my brothers flew in from, one lives in Atlanta, one lives in Australia. And they flew in. It was a week later. He was cremated. And they flew in for the funeral and then flew out. But also in that time, they managed to put my mum's house on the market and put her into this retirement block of flat sort of thing. And that's really, because I didn't live with them from when I was 18. I just couldn't believe that they would do that. They just fly. They didn't say 2 words to me on my dad's funeral. And and then they just put her in this place. And I was like, you sure this is what you want? And obviously, it's just like a week after Dad died. I was like, this all seems a bit quick. She was like, no, that's what they think is best for me. Okay. So she flew back, and then I was in London at the time. I was about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the traffic, away. And I had Charlie young at the time, so I didn't get to see her that often. And she basically, obviously she's in a wheelchair, and at the time then she was able to like transfer from her wheelchair to using sticks to a riser recliner chair type thing. And one day she got stuck in that chair. She couldn't get up. She wasn't feeling well. She was stuck in this riser recliner, and she wasn't anywhere near a phone. She didn't have an alarm. She's got an alarm thing around her neck now. She didn't have that at the time. And no one found her for like 2.5 days. And she has a catheter and all that, all it means all the wee went back inside. So she had sepsis. And she ended up staying in hospital for about 6 months. It was after that I thought, she's like made of titanium, this woman, like, you know what I mean? She really is. And I just thought she deserves better than to be stuck in this place on her own. Because it really was like waiting for God, that place. And I thought she's always given me, she's always been there for me, always. Always. I just thought she deserves better. She deserves to be looked after. So that's why I wanted to find somewhere big enough that she could come live with me. And but obviously where I was going with her, she's had sepsis again since then as well. She's like, literally, she's made of titanium, I swear. But so she obviously, since she's moved in with me in the last few years, she's told me stories about my dad, and when it just shatters what you think. And again, this is what made me realise I didn't know him at all. I kind of really put him on a pedestal. And I still do, really. Because I never saw these things that Mum said. But she did. And, but I just don't know anything about his history or missed anything like that. I remember like all the good times and all the parties and all the, you know, Royal Ascot and all of that, you know, because he was a riot. But I don't know him. I just feel really sad that I didn't know him. So it's just because it's coming up. So if you've got one still around, make sure you get to know them. Because you don't know when something might happen. They might not be here. Anyway, I was not expecting to have a little boo-hoo at the end, but it's only a week away, so it's more just to say if you still got your dad about, just make sure you tell him you love him, innit? Right, I've gone on long enough, I've had a boo, and now I feel like I need to go and wipe my eyes, get a grip, finish my peppermint tea, and take myself to bed. So, love you guys. You know, tell your family, your friends that you love them. We need to put more of that around the place around right now. So, lots of love. As always, better days coming.